If you have been doing squats, hip thrust and kickbacks, but your glutes still look flat, there's a reason. There's a small group of muscles deep inside your hip that almost no one trains. But they play a major role in how your glutes look and how your body moves. They are called the deep six. If they are weak, your glutes stay flat, no matter how much you train. In this video, you'll learn how to activate them, the best way to train them at home, and how fixing this one thing can completely change the results you get from squats, lunges, and every other glute exercise you do. The deep six are a group of small muscles hidden underneath your glutes. They don't get much attention, but they should. Their main job is external rotation of the hip, which means turning your leg outward from the hip joint. And no, that's not the same as just turning your foot out. To see real external rotation, watch your knee. When it moves outward while your foot stays mostly in place, that's your hip doing the work. Most people never train this movement directly. And that's why their knees cave in doing squats and their glutes stay flat no matter how many reps they do. But once you activate it, everything changes. You feel more control, more burn, and more growth right where you've been missing it. Now, let's look at what happens in a squat. When your deep six muscles aren't doing their job, your knees tend to cave in as you lower down. It might not be dramatic, but even a slight collapse throws off your form and takes tension away from your glutes. You've probably heard the cue, push your knees out. That's not just for safety, it's actually a way to engage your external rotators, including the deep six. Watch the difference. In one squat, the knees drift inward, the hips lose stability, and the glutes don't fully activate. In the other, I'm driving the knees out slightly, keeping the weight balanced through the whole foot, and instantly feeling more control and more tension in the glutes. When these muscles are active, squats become a glute builder, not just a leg exercise. The clamshell is the single best exercise to activate your deep six muscles, but it only works if you do it right. Start by lying on your side with your knees bent at 90 degrees and your feet stacked. Keep your core tight and your hips still. No rocking back. From here, gently press your top knee slightly forward and then drive it upward and slightly back, keeping your feet together. That small forward push locks your pelvis in place and forces the movement to come directly from the hip. This stops you from compensating with your lower back and creates a much deeper burn right in your glute. Now here's where most people go wrong. They lead with the foot, lifting it into the air and turning the whole movement into a side leg raise. That's hip abduction, not external rotation. And it takes the deep six muscles out of the picture. Done correctly, you should feel the burn deep in your glute, not on the side of your leg. It's focused, it's intense, and if you feel it in the right place, you're finally activating the right muscles. Once you've learned how to isolate the deep six and really feel them working, the next step is to integrate them. That's where the one-leg balance drill comes in. Here's how to do it. Push your big toe into the floor to stop your weight from drifting out and keep your arch engaged. Now, without moving your foot, externally rotate from the hip. As you hold that position, you'll feel your glute light up, especially the deep part you just targeted with the clamshell. Work up to a 60-second hold, staying tall and stable. You're not just balancing, you're actively using the muscles that keep your hips strong, your knees aligned, and your glutes fully engaged. So, we've isolated the muscle with the clamshell. We've integrated it with a balance drill. Now it's time for step 3, improvise. This is where you take that activation and apply it to real exercises, like squats and lunges. Here's how. In a squat, instead of just dropping down and hoping your glutes engage, actively think about pressing your knees outward as you lower. Not so much that your form breaks, but just enough to create external rotation from the hip. You'll feel more tension, more stability, and a lot more glute activation at the bottom of the movement. In a lunge, both on the way down and up, drive your front knee outward just enough to keep it in line with your foot. That subtle outward push locks in the hip and activates those deep stabilizers. So you're not wobbling. This is where the real gains happen. When you can activate the deep six during big compound lifts, your glutes don't just look better, they function better. You get more out of every rep and your risk of injury drops way down. Most people never train their external rotators, never activate the deep six, and never realize how much potential they're leaving on the table. But once you isolate, integrate, and improvise, everything changes. You move better, you feel stronger, and most importantly, you finally start to see the results that you have been working for. If this helped you, drop a comment and let me know. Hit like, subscribe, and I see you in the next one.